お母さんが日本人で、お父さんがカメルーン人で、札幌で生まれ育って。Food is not that great here. Japanese food is good in general, but you compare it to Hokkaido food? No way. I kind of stopped using half food. I feel like mix might be a better terminology. For example, right? If there's red and then blue, it makes purple. And then you could say you're actually half red, half blue, but you're purple, which is beautiful in itself.
Do you feel Japan is becoming more black?
Wow. Yeah, that's a bold question. I feel like...
This is Isaac from the GoldnRush Podcast. Welcome, Isaac.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
It's such an honor to be here. I've been watching your shit I don't know how many years. I know you for years, dude.
Damn, thanks, man.
Of course. My name is Isaac. I am half Japanese, half Cameroonian. I'm born and raised in Sapporo. Now, currently, I live in Tokyo doing podcast.
日本語で
どうも、アイザックと言います。お母さんが日本人で、お父さんがカメルーン人で、札幌で生まれ育って、今は東京に住んで、GoldnRush Podcast っていうポッドキャストとか、ミュージック撮ったりとか、いろいろやってます。
So, how long were you in Sapporo for?
Man, pretty much all my life, right? Because I was born there, I grew up there. Even though, my family moved around a little bit. So I lived in Africa for a little bit. I lived in Canada for a little bit. But till 18, I lived in Sapporo, and after I graduated high school, I moved to LA and then stayed there for 6 years and I came back.
So I'm sure a lot of people want to know, how do you speak English if your dad's from Cameroon? You're born and raised in Japan. Where did this English come in from?
English, eh?
Because you got it. You got the American accent and everything. Where's this coming from?
Sometimes I feel like I just sometimes I swear too much. I don't know what it is. But I think I always. Okay, I remember when I was 10 or 11 when we got cable TV for the first time in my place, right? In my parents' place. It's not my place. In Sapporo. Yeah, and then I watched Disney Channel for the first time. I was shocked.
Disney Channel?
Yes, I loved Disney Channels. I always wanted to be like Disney Channel star. You know those kids who in, the show?
Yeah. Wait, which shows were you watching?
Damn, I always watched Zack and Cody.
Zack and Cody?
Yeah, definitely. That was my favorite. I used to watch Hannah Montana too.
Let's go, Miley Cyrus.
Everything. I can't really think of too much stuff right now, but I was watching pretty religiously. Religiously, I was watching a lot of TV shows from Disney Channel. Yeah, and then I always wanted to be that.
And your household, you spoke in English or was it Japanese?
Well, see, my father's from Cameroon, and Cameroon is there's a French part and English part, right? But only the one language that both my parents had common was English. They weren't even that good at English speaker, honestly, but they try to communicate in English. That's the only thing. So
that's all they got, right?
That's all they got. So what happened was they were communicating in English most of the times. I think maybe half the times. It's I would say back then it was 80% English, 20% Japanese. Now it's more 80% Japanese, 20% English. But it was like that. So obviously I grew up hearing English, but I never really talked to my parents in English. So I pretty much picked up English from music or Disney channels, movies, YouTube channels.
I think a lot of language learners do watch my channel. Mm-hmm. So it's cool to hear you learned your English mostly from Disney Channel. Definitely. Which is crazy, even though your father I guess spoke some English because he's from Cameroon.
Yeah, but his first language was French. Or some tribal languages. But it's mainly French. I think he went to school in Cameroon, and obviously because in Africa a lot of people don't understand, it's Africa is a huge continent and it's so many countries. Well, some people probably know, but it's Westerners come in, draw lines. So even in one country there's 4 or 5 tribes coexist with each other. And in Cameroon there's 4 main tribes, and every tribe had their own language, but in order for them to communicate, they have to find common language, right? And that was French mainly, and then there's some English. So my father pretty much learned French in school system.
I see. So you said 4 tribes. What are do you know the 4 tribes?
I don't really know other 3 tribes, but my tribe is called Bamileke. Bamileke is probably one of the biggest tribe, I would say. They're more of they're very economic. They're a lot of entrepreneurs. My dad is also one.
Well, I have a question. So your dad, he went to Sapporo, Hokkaido.
Yes.
He's a Cameroonian. Is there a Cameroonian community there? Why did he end up going to Sapporo in Hokkaido?
That's interesting, right? Because this is a story that I heard was my mom was part of this church, and then she went to Africa for a mission. And then I think she was in Senegal, and I think my father at the time was a student over there in Senegal as well. And I think the church service that she was doing, and then part of that like church community, my dad was in it. And then they got in a relationship. They decided to marry in Senegal. But then my father was back then a student, so obviously they didn't have too much money. And then my mom's like, okay, we need to make money. So she was like, you know what? Let me go back to my own country, make some money, and come back. But my dad's pastor told him to, hey, go to Japan and live with your wife.
Oh, his pastor was like,
yeah, said it to my dad.
Live with your wife.
Exactly.
Is this a Catholic Christian? What is?
It's more Protestant. No, Catholic. I think it's Catholic. No. It's Protestant.
Protestant.
Yeah, definitely.
So the pastor is like, go live with your wife in Hokkaido. That's actually really cute. That's
it's
very
pretty cute,
story,
right? Yeah, exactly.
Dang.
And I think my father is pretty, that kind of mindset where like always trying to do better,
right.
Always work hard.
Was he not worried about it being cold in Hokkaido?
Oh, definitely. I don't even know how much he know. He knew about like what Hokkaido is and how cold it is and like poof, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think. And then I was in. They made me, so there's like that's why they just like stay back in Sapporo.
Are there a lot of black people in Hokkaido?
Oh no way, no way, so, man! It's cold place.
It's place. Yeah, it's too cold.
It's too cold for black people.
I mean, hey, but you got Niseko. Are you like a skier, snowboarder?
Snowboarders?
Can you do it?
I see. Like if you grew up in Sapporo, like going through like elementary school, like they like force you to learn ski.
That's what I would assume.
Exactly. Yeah. So like you kind of like they force you to learn skiing. So I know somewhat like how to ski. Like I could just ski normally, but I'm not really a big fan of it that much. Like winter sports in general. So I'm not that great, but I could ski.
Yeah.
Just normally.
Hey, you got you because you were in Hokkaido, right?
Yeah, like, exactly. Because that's where I was born.
And it was just you and your brother who were mixed mostly, or was there other mixed kids?
Oh, yeah,
Sapporo?
yeah.
And by the way, you're 26 right now,
yes,
right?
I'm 26.
So we're talking about like, I don't know, 20 years ago would be 2004.
Yeah, okay.
About.
Yeah, man, no, honestly, dude, like, so first of all, like every black people in Sapporo, my dad knew. Every single one of them. They had like this literally like what, like 5, 6? You know what I mean? I don't even know. I mean, it's like that's only that. And I think they had some parties, for black people come together, African people come together type of stuff. I've never really met any Americans or like Westerner black people. I met a lot of like Africans,
like African black people, but not
people. A lot of African,
but not like African American.
No, not many African Americans. Maybe some Jamaicans as well.
Damn, why the Jamaicans? This is like,
I know, right?
Did you watch the movie Cool Runnings? Maybe they were training for bobsled teams. Like, do you know this movie? Like the Jamaican bobsled team.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I watched it. I think I did long time ago. I don't remember too much, but it was a good movie.
Yeah, they're going to a cold place in Hokkaido. Dude, yeah, classic movie.
Good movie.
Anyway, so you're from Sapporo, but you've lived only in Tokyo for like 6 months.
6 months now, right? Yeah.
Well, how's the experience been so far? Like, I think you did say a little bit that you prefer like Sapporo's vibe, 100%. Right?
I mean, dude, come on.
Yeah,
Tokyo's not bad.
Give us your pitch about Hokkaido and why Sapporo is better than Tokyo.
Well, see, I think just visiting and seeing the stuff, maybe Tokyo is good because it's in a really close area. You could go different places and different characteristics of what Japan is. But food is not that great here, first of all. Food is not that great. Japanese food is good in general. But you compare it to Hokkaido food? Oh, no. There's no way.
Tokyo food is not that good?
Not that great. I mean, unless you pay like crazy amount of money.
People are in here like, Tokyo, I thought had like the best food. All right, give us a list of some Sapporo stuff.
First of all, if you like sushi, if you like raw fish, definitely those ones, right? Any sushi, sashimis, everything is so good. Meat, 100%, so much fresher.
What about
vegetables?
Kobe beef? It doesn't compare.
I mean, yeah, dude, okay.
Kobe beef, no.
That's another thing, right? Because I'm just saying, like, okay, Tokyo food is not that great for cost, is what I'm meaning. Like you could get food if you like, you know, stuck up like, okay, yo, let me pay like 1万円, 2万円. You're gonna get really good food, obviously. I mean, it's Tokyo. You know what I mean? It's like one of the best chefs in the world come here to open a shop, right? Or a restaurant. So definitely, if you are rich, you know what I mean? Yo, hell yeah.
If you throw down some cash.
Exactly. You throw down some cash, you get some good food.
Okay.
But I feel like in Hokkaido, any places you go, it's for sure it's gonna be a good food with really such a low price, very good cost performance. It's fresh, all of that stuff. You know what I mean? And its sweets are great too.
You just heard it straight from a guy from Hokkaido, straight from Sapporo.
Exactly.
The food is better there than Tokyo.
100%. Dude, that's the proof is, right? If you go to Tokyo, I don't know if you realize, but that comes, like I saw that a lot, is that if you go to any izakaya in Tokyo, there's so many izakaya named Hokkaido or Sapporo. I'm like, do you think it just putting the like Hokkaido label, that like put that on, it makes it good like automatically? No.
Dude, you're like,
don't do that. You know what I mean? It's like, no, what the fuck? Why? Like, you know what I mean? So I've never, okay, maybe I gotta do a little more research of like, okay, you know what? Like, let me see if these like Hokkaido izakayas are good. But it just only says it by itself. It's like people want to use the word Hokkaido to prove that it's a good restaurant.
Yeah. Damn.
You know, it says it. You know what I mean?
I never really thought about that, but it is funny even to think about, you know, one of the most popular beers is Sapporo beer.
Yes.
And I mean, I'm guessing it's made in Sapporo, right? It has to be. It has to be.
Right now, no.
Right now.
But it used to be. I think it started there.
Okay.
It started there, but they have different factors.
But like, I don't think there's a beer called Tokyo, Osaka.
Yes.
There's no like, the only location beer
Uh-huh.
that I can think of is Sapporo.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. That's how a lot of people know too. You know what I mean? Like when I was in LA, I lived there for like 6 years, and then every time I try to like explain where I'm from, like, yeah, I'm from Hokkaido, North part. Oh, do you know Sapporo beer? Like, yeah, I know Sapporo beer. Yeah, that's where I'm from. Like people know Sapporo beer.
Where people, we're actually going on that topic. Since
Yes.
you lived in LA for how long?
6 years, like 5.5.
From like 18 to
18 to
20,
20,
or
yeah.
something. When you first got there,
Yes.
how was your English? Was it still improving or?
Yeah, I don't know, right? I don't remember too much, but I think my English definitely got so much better living there.
Do you think you passed as like people thought you're just American?
Some people, tell me that, but I don't know. Like, I think normal conversation, I don't have a strong accent, I don't think, but I think the amount of vocabulary that I have is not that big. I feel like that's why, like, that's when it comes out sometimes, you know, some word or L, R.
Oh.
You know what I mean? It's really difficult to, you know what I mean? Like, I know, but like sometimes, like, if I heard some like new word that involves R or L, I can't really tell which one it is.
What was a really hard one for you? Do you remember any?
Like, for example, I can't tell a difference between lounge or lounge.
Lounge or lounge?
Wait,
what is round?
What is maybe lounge? Maybe there's no word like that.
Lounge and hold on. I'm trying to think. Maybe I'm just maybe I'm
no,
just
I don't
not
think
good
so.
at
Maybe
vocab.
maybe
lounge. We know what a
now.
lounge is. A lounge is around. I don't think that's a word.
I don't think
it's a word.
Now that I think about it. Okay, I come out kind of stupid. I am a little bit stupid.
No. Dude, it's just second language. Like, dude, you speak multiple languages. It's like definitely not dumb. But I was just anyway, I was just asking just because I was curious. Like, you know, go to LA. Do people think, you know, you're just Black American, or did they realize like, oh, he's probably African, or did anyone recognize that you're Japanese without you like saying it or speaking Japanese? That's my question.
Good question. I mean, I think a lot of times, you know how like a lot of Americans like ask you like, where you from out here?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm actually from Japan. I was like, oh, you're Japanese? I was like, yes, I was born there. Oh, that's crazy. You know what? Maybe I hear the accent here and there. I was like, okay, yeah. And then, you know what? When I look at you, like, yeah, maybe you have Asian eyes. I was like, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, a lot of people say, like, I have Asian feature.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like, since I'm also mixed Japanese, I can tell that you are.
Yeah.
And maybe, like, the context helps that you're in Japan, like, and you speak Japanese.
Yeah, I mean, all kinds of people are over there. Yeah, that's one of, like, biggest culture shock I ever had was, like I said, right? There's only like 5-6 black guys over there, and then like
in Sapporo,
and like school, like in high school, there's one other kid actually who was like half Senegalese, but that's about it. Me, my brother, him, my sister. I remember this little kid. I don't like a little boy. Around the neighborhood, near my I think middle school, and he was a black kid too. But that's about it, really. But the weird things about it is like when I went to high school, since I was always wanted to come to America, go to America. I was studying English, and I went into international course in high school, and then in that international course or international class, whatever you want to call it, there's like 2 other mixed kids. One is German, half German, one was half British. In the whole grade, only 3 of us were mixed, and then we were in the same class too. So it was really interesting.
What year was this? Just for
what
reference.
It was 2014.
2014. That's not that long ago.
That's not that long ago. 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of when I started my YouTube channel.
Right.
It was like 2014.
2014, yeah.
And I wanted to make content about being mixed Japanese because there wasn't really that type of stuff. And I was thinking in my head, like, hey, there might be somebody in high school like that wants to know that other mixed people out there like them, like mixed Japanese people are out there like me. And because I was feeling like, I wish I knew this. Right. I was like 23, 24. And you said that you saw some of my videos. Like, did you see them in high school? Or like, what, do you remember like what year you were when you saw them? Or
I think when I was in America or something. Or maybe in high school.
Yeah,
because I don't quite remember. Because I know that I've watched like some of your videos long time ago. And then I think watched like some of it. That's why I know your face.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly why I made it though. I was like literally like thinking about, I didn't know who I was doing it for, but over the years, like I've met people like you who've just like been like, yeah, I watched those, and
yeah, dude,
it warms my heart. Like, no, but seriously, I'm just that was why I did it. Like it was for people like you, people like me.
Yeah, no, that's amazing.
Yeah, and even and it wasn't just for that too. It's like for people who just wanted to know about like what it's like being mixed Japanese and. I mean, now it's like on social media, everyone is mixed, and now we have like Jesse. Do you know Jesse, right? He's got Blasian versus Wasian.
Yeah, I saw that video. I was like, dang, he did it. I was like, I always wanted to do this.
Yeah, wait, why weren't you on Blasian versus Wasian?
Man, I wasn't invited. What's up?
Yeah, I wasn't invited either, Jesse. Come on, Blasian versus Wasian.
Come on.
No, I feel like I would have been bad on that, actually, to be honest. But like, Wasian wasn't even a term for like.
Yeah, no, like I picked up that word like recently. I think.
Yeah.
White Asian.
Yeah, white Asian.
Like, okay, now that makes a lot of sense.
It does.
But like
Blasian was like
Blasian was been around.
It's been around for a while.
I think so.
I feel like Wasian sounds. I don't know.
How do you feel that? How do you feel about that? The terminology.
I probably wouldn't refer to myself as Wasian, but if somebody said that, I'd be like, yeah, like I am. But like, it's too new. It's too new. Like I didn't grow up with this term. You know? There's so many terms that are coming out for everything. So at most, I was saying like I'm half Japanese, and then I moved to Japan for a bit, and then I was like, oh, I'm hafu.
Hafu. Yeah.
But now I like to say mixed actually.
Mixed.
How about you?
I use mix a lot. Yeah. I kind of stopped using hafu. I don't know. I mean, like, I don't have nothing against it, but like some people might bothered by the terminology because it means half of something. And it's like half is like, okay, I don't know overall, like, okay, but I do understand why they don't want to be referred as a hafu. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't take offensive to it at all. That's how I grew up with it. But I feel like mix probably might be a better terminology just because. That's another thing is like I changed the bio in Instagram to mixed race and new race because I feel like half something is already a new thing. For example, right? I was thinking about this. Like if there's red and then blue and mixed together, it makes purple, right? And then you could say you're actually half red, half blue, but you're purple, which is like a different color, which is beautiful in itself. From my perspective, you know what I mean? Because a different cultural background, obviously you had a different, experience and stuff like that. I think it's really cool to really take pride in that. Because I feel like a lot of people, me included, having a hard time really associating myself with certain race of people or, you know what I mean? Because I'm pretty sure everyone says it, but like, I feel like I'm too black for Japanese or but I'm too Japanese for black folks, right? It's like everyone go through that.
Yeah.
And I was like, why don't you just take pride in what you are? Because it's beautiful and I love it. Yeah. I'm glad I'm in this place. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
I love that. Like, I've never really thought of like the red blue analogy that you just did, but
right.
Yeah, no one says like you're half red, you're half blue. Like
you're purple.
You're purple.
Exactly. And that's cool too. Why not?
Yeah. But
you know what I mean?
And that's kind of like, you know, yeah, that's why mixed is started to be what I like to prefer to say. Now, of course, just on a YouTube thing and like for clicks, it's putting half Japanese, you get more clicks than mixed Japanese, I've noticed. So I'm like, damn it.
SEO, it matters. It matters.
It does.
Like, it matters.
For anyone out there, like if you see half Japanese, it might just be for SEO. The one thing that I never really caught on to though was double. Like,
yeah, I don't get that. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. If you ask so many, like that's something like I don't want people to take it in the wrong way, but like if you ask so many things, it's just too confusing, dude. It's just like it's too confusing.
There was definitely a push for a while from like some parents that were like, my kids aren't half, they're double. Like they're not halfway, they're double. I was like,
yeah, I mean, yeah, you do you do you, honey. But I don't know. I mean, I don't mind it. You could call yourself whatever you want. You know what I mean? But like when you like mixed race, it's just the terminology. It just makes sense English wise. You know what I mean? Half, it was like half Japanese. Yeah, makes sense. But double, that's when I'm like, okay, double. That's new, man. Like, you know
I'm a double Japanese. Double Japanese. And you're like,
double Japanese.
Yeah, I that one never really took off.
Like, I don't think so.
When you were a kid,
yes,
did you ever really experience like any sort of discrimination in Japan?
Like
or
a legit discrimination?
Yeah. Or is it like Sapporo is like way different from Tokyo?
Oh yeah.
But so far, I mean, we haven't really even touched on it, so it almost feels like it wasn't like, other than the story about the kid who was bothering you and you got pointed out.
Yeah.
Did you ever really feel like
you're
discriminated against, or was it just like just you're different because you're not like everyone else?
Well, I mean, I've been called names, multiple things, you know what I mean? Called me like burned bread.
Is that in Nihongo de you
kogepan?
Kogepan?
Yeah, kogepan. People call me kogepan many times. Or like, you'll go back to America, like I'm not even American. First of all, you know what I mean?
It's almost, like looking back, it's always funny. It's like, it's like fuck you. I'm not American.
I've never been there, dude.
I've never been.
Yeah. So that or stuff like that. But I think more than anything, it's like subtle things they don't really realize, but like you kind of see it more and more. Is that like these days, like me and my brother, especially in the nighttime when we're walking, taxi doesn't stop. And it just kushaって書いてあるのに止まんないのは that's a bit like, dude, I mean, maybe they kind of scared because it's a late night and then just two tall black dude who's like 190, two of us, maybe, makes sense. But like that, or like one time I got like me, my brother, my sister went to a restaurant back home. They're like, oh, no, you can't come in. I was like, what? But I used to go there a lot of times where it was like, no, we can't go there. I was like, oh, we could wait. Like, no, it's not going to be open. Like, but we have like more like it's not even closing.
What they say in Japanese?
もうダメですね。ダメですみたいな。でもどんぐらい待ち時間ありますか？ダメですみたいな。I was like, what do you mean? I'm asking you how long is the wait? And then he said, no. It's like it makes no sense because it's not even last order. It was like it definitely had like 2-3 hours till it's closing. So there's no way.
And it's one of those things. It's like I can't prove it. This feels sus.
It feels off.
Yeah, it feels off.
Exactly. You know, stuff like that. Or one time, like I called the prop house for music videos. I was like, hey, I'm trying to like, you know, and then I actually found it randomly when I was taking a walk with my brother, right? And I stopped by. And I was like, oh, this is a cool place. And I went in and was like, oh, it's the prop house. Like, what do you guys have? Whatever. And then two people who worked there knew our content. Like, oh, are you the GoldnRush guy? It's like, yes. It's like, yo, I've been, you know, watching your content. I love your content. You know, keep up the good work. It's like, thank you. So I called after. I was like, hey, I have a music video. Could we talk about potential partnership?
Yeah, sick.
And I called him. And then the lady was like, oh, yeah. And I told her like the name of the channel. I was like, oh, yeah. I've never seen anything like these foreign looking people channel. I was like,
on the phone?
Yes.
Did she know it was you?
No, like I think he's just a different lady. It was like, oh yeah. There's a two girls who like something like that. Foreign looking people thing.
Yeah.
I was like, this lady was like trying to be nice, whatever. I don't know. But, こういう外国人的なやつ好きな子とかいます。I was like, no, lady, no
you didn't
way.
Have to say it. You didn't have to say it like that.
That happens. Recent thing. But I think they're not trying to be like offensive. I think they tried to be nice and they said it like that. That's the biggest problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
you're like you were close.
You're close, I guess. Stuff like that, man. You know, I mean, I said so many things, but you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Obviously, I experienced it, but I'm glad. I mean, I feel like I started out a lot because of my looks, and I think my content did pretty good because of my looks. And I'll, you know what I mean, just I guess like stuff like that.
If you're like me and are an expat or travel abroad a lot, there's a lot of reasons to have a VPN, which is why I want to introduce today's sponsor, NordVPN. Right now, NordVPN is offering 4 bonus months on top of their 2-year plan, which you can get via my link or my code found here. And it's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. But why might a VPN be important to you? Well, if you are looking to book your next international trip, you may be able to benefit from booking cheaper flights thanks to VPN. Flight prices can rise due to factors like the popularity of a destination in certain countries. For example, if you're trying to book a ticket to Japan, the demand can increase due to cultural, political, or geographical reasons, raising flight costs. Without a VPN, your web browser knows your IP and exact location, so you can't always get the best prices. But with NordVPN, you have a reliable method to hide the data that airlines use to customize prices. It will hide your IP and service operators will not be able to see where you're browsing from. Now, not only can you use NordVPN to save yourself some money on flight costs, you can also use it to protect your cybersecurity. For example, when traveling and connecting to free Wi-Fi at cafes, you could be at risk for a cyber attack. There might be a free Wi-Fi service offered by a malicious person looking to steal your data. If you connect to that Wi-Fi, you give them access to your data. But by using NordVPN, you can ensure your data flow is encrypted no matter if the destination connection is secure or not. NordVPN is a great service to use anywhere, and I want to let you know once again that they are offering 4 bonus months on top of their 2-year plan that you can get with my code, which you can find here. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. This is a great deal, so make sure to get yourself secure today with NordVPN. Have you noticed that like there's some people like in Japan trying to surgically get their looks designed to look more hafu?
Yeah. No, I could see that. I mean, they even have like a word for hafuga make to ka sa. That look like half people type of stuff, right? Or surgery even.
And when they say that, it's usually like white hafus.
Yeah, like, usually. Yeah, 100%.
Unless, of course, they're into like black hip hop music and like they want to tan and like look black.
Yeah. Dreads.
Usually not like that. There are way more Japanese people with dreads though lately. I've noticed.
Oh, way more.
Like
right?
cornrows, dreads.
Yeah, I think it's because of hip hop. It's definitely rising in Japan. Yeah. It's one of the most popular genre of music among young people for sure. I feel it.
Do you feel like Japan is becoming more black?
That's a bold question.
I asked this to my other Eliana. She's half Nigerian. She's a rapper. She did the team in Tomashi.
Yeah, I know her. Damn. Okay. Look. I feel like traditionally, I feel like Japanese people are always trying to Americanize themselves in different cultural aspect, especially entertainment or fashion. So for sure, since I feel like a lot of mainstream entertainment in America is actually by African Americans or black people are starting to take that aspects of that American entertainment into Japanese entertainment and then turning it into their own thing. So yes, I would say maybe way little more black than before, but it's not because it's black. I think it's just because it's American or world mainstream thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that is actually a fantastic answer. I feel like because I feel like because I feel like you're completely right that Japan is always kind of like yes, it has its own strong culture and stuff, but there's always like a little bit of some people who really love the American aesthetic, or American movies, music. So it does make sense that the clothing, music, and stuff like that, which a lot of times is heavily influenced by Black American culture, is why it's coming to this side. I
think that's what's happening right now. I think a lot of people had like, oh, like it's a cultural appropriation and all of that stuff. Like, for me, I think it's really cool because, for example, right, it kind of go back to a little bit why I'm doing hip hop content a little bit. I started off as a hip hop content, you know what I mean? Little, like, right now I'm mixing different contents as well. But the reason why I really like hip hop or hip hop content is because these minorities, mainly Black people, didn't have anything else to kind of show and express themselves in their identity, and they found hip hop, and then they kind of like turned that into mainstream entertainment and mainstream trend in the world. So it is something that kind of symbolizes the advancement of these minority, which is Blacks. And I think it's really cool that hip hop is influencing the world, especially Japan, and a lot of Japanese people who probably might not fit that stereotypical Japanese lifestyle or stereotypical Japanese image, right? Resonate with this kind of culture and then take that and then turn it into something that they could express themselves as well. And that's what's supposed to be. I feel like art or expression or entertainment is, especially hip hop, has a strong characteristic of, you know, going up the social ladder. And I think that's what I love about hip hop. That's what I love about like Black music, Black culture. And I'm glad that Japanese people taking it and utilize it to advance their own situation, or, you know, take part in it and embrace it. You know what I mean? So that's why I really, really love it. And I don't really get like bothered by dreads or cornrows or braids or all this stuff. I don't know if it's good for their hair or their scalp, like realistically, but still it's cool that they think it's cool, because back then it wasn't cool. You know what I mean? But now it's cool. So I like it. That's why I do a lot of I like to bring on hip hop rappers and talk about their experience, because it might not fit with typical Japanese salaryman type of stuff. Like 100%. They came from like, you know, ghetto, like danchi, the project, Japanese project, where I'm from. You know what I mean? I was born in these projects. I grew up there. You know what I mean? Even though my father worked so hard to get out of it, now he owns the house, and I mean my parents owns the house, and you know he built a whole company. And even though it's not a big company, but still he was able to send me to America and pay for my tuition. You know, all of that stuff. Like they gave me a freedom to really do what I really want to do. And then without their help, I would not be here. So I really love that aspects of hip hop. I really love the aspects of the grind and hustle and, you know, coming from nothing to something type of vibes. You know what I mean? That's what I'm doing. And I feel like I'm trying to like inherit that from my father. Came in Japan not knowing the language and build that. That's crazy, bro. A lot of people see it in project.
That's crazy. Know? I mean, I didn't even get to touch on it because, but you just said you grew up in the danchi, which is Japanese projects, basically. Exactly. Which I'm sure a lot of people didn't even know, like, oh, they're like projects exist. Yeah. And I didn't even think about this. You know, your dad didn't really speak Japanese or English. Yeah. And he moved from Cameroon to Sapporo. He's probably didn't have a lot of money. Like, he didn't have much to go off of.
Exactly.
But yeah, so damn. But you saying that is something that I think
it's not a negative thing. I don't think.
No. I think it's what I like about you sharing this story and also just explaining it to me is that Japan has so many different sides to it, and a lot of people kind of see the side of Tokyo, Kyoto, you know, geisha, like the pretty stuff, like nice buildings and things like that. But 100%. A lot of people don't know about the Japanese people that listen to hip hop or, you know, that type of music, that they relate to the struggle, right? Or they relate to, you know, even though their skin color isn't different from the majority. Like they may have to go through so much struggle to get to where they are.
Yeah.
And like that's, I think a lot of music in hip hop does have that like come up.
Definitely.
And that's why it resonates with a lot of Japanese people, and that's why Japanese people are really resonating with all this American music.
Exactly.
A lot of mixed people
Yes.
in Japan get told that they look like a certain celebrity.
Oh yeah.
Mine is Tom Cruise. And honestly, I've started to embrace it. Like, I can do the run. If I hold on, let me get my sunglasses.
Well, actually, it's not too far off, dude. I mean, I've heard worse, dude. I've heard worse. Like, there's no way that he looks like that.
Okay,
you know what me?
Who have you been told that you look like?
Mendy, which is like Japanese.
Oh
dancer.
yeah, we thought you don't look like Mendy.
No way, dude.
Dude, he's the dancer.
Singer. I mean, I had a little bit of like a, you know, how do you say that? Like a little fro on the top. So maybe the hairstyle, maybe a little bit. I'll give you that, but I don't think I look.
I feel like
no way.
It's just like you're both half black. You're
That's it. That's
you're like
only thing.
Mendy.
Yeah. So like some people just say like whatever like Hollywood star they know, like Denzel Washington or Eddie Murphy. Like,
Come on, guys.
at that point, I'm like, yo, that's racist. Like I don't look like him at all. Will Smith. I've heard that so many
You've
times
got Will
too.
Smith?
Will Smith. Yeah.
Damn, but who do you actually feel like you might look like?
You remember the guy from Harry Potter, the black dude?
No, I'd have to look this up. Should I just type black guy from Harry Potter?
Harry Potter, black dude.
This guy?
That's the dude.
This is the dude.
Yeah. I don't look like him that much, but when I was younger, I think I looked like him a little bit.
We just turned on the AC. It was getting too hot in here.
It's getting hot.
It's too hot. This heated discussion, man.
Yes.
Yeah. But Isaac, I was just saying, like, can you repeat what you said about English makes you? You feel more extroverted?
I feel like English makes me way more extroverted and very expressive.
That is, yeah.
It is weird.
A lot of people say like your personality changes when you speak a different language.
Definitely.
I mean, your podcast.
Right.
I feel like you're pretty extroverted on your podcast as well.
You think so? Yeah, maybe,
huh?
I
don't know. I actually don't know. I mean, I think so.
But right, because like I've seen the Russian girls talking about like, you know, keigo toka.
Victoria, yeah.
I was talking about keigo.
Yeah.
And all of that. Same thing. Like I feel like when I use Japanese, I always trying to be like very like, you know what I mean? Like try not to come off too much, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That's right, because you do use your keigo sometimes, depending on your guests.
Yes, depends on the guests.
In your podcast.
Yes.
And then your seikaku, your personality does change a little bit.
Bit. Yeah.
That's just a cultural thing, right?
It's a culture thing for sure. I feel like when I was in Japan growing up, I feel like I constantly had to kind of like change myself for other people. You know what I mean? Like I am a very adaptable person, like in my nature. However, growing up in Japan, you just stand out just being yourself. So you kind of have to make sure they don't stand out that much, because in Japan, I'm pretty sure you know that culture is like, it's very collectivistic, where like you don't really want to just be too different to disturb the crowd type of stuff, right?
Yeah, I don't even want to run outside with my shirt off.
Yeah, exactly. No, you wouldn't do that.
Even though in the US it's like whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
No one runs with their shirt off outside in Japan. In
no one does. Exactly, same thing. So like I still remember this moment where like when I was in classroom when I was in elementary school, probably second grade or something, second year of elementary school, I was a pretty good student, I would say. You know what I mean? I was kind of trying to focus on study, you know what I mean, in the classrooms and everything. And then one time, this kid behind me kept talking to me, right? Cause like, hey, I was like, yo, I'm trying to like listen to my teacher right now, you know? Could we just do it later on? You know what I mean? And I kept saying that, but then this kid kept talking to me. I was like, yo, and I looked back, like, yo, let me focus on the class. And the teacher was like, my name is this. In Japan, you usually call people with a surname, right?
Yeah.
Or the last name. And they're like, Taku, like, why are you talking in the classroom? Just like, yo, I was trying to listen to you. And I was like so like pissed and sad at the same time. And then that day I went home and I talked to my mom. I was like, yo, this is what happened today. And then teacher literally told me, but not the kid behind me. Like, why? And then my mom told me like, hey, listen, you're going to stand out no matter what. So you got to be careful with what you do and what you say. I was like, at the time, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm different. You know what I mean? I kind of knew that I'm different, but at that time, I was like, yeah, I am really different. And that's when I I was more self-aware of my situation and my looks, and then how it comes off to some people in Japan. I think since then, I have been very trying so hard to fit in with the crowd so much that sometimes killing like my own personality or my truth, like a truth or whatever you want, like whatever in my mind type of stuff. And I grew up like that, but then when I got to US, I was so surprised that there's so many people with different kind of background, even skin colors, right? There's black people, Asian people, white people, Middle Easterns, all kinds of people. And that's when I was like, yo, this is crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't stand out that much. I could just be me type of stuff. And I think that's when I kind of started to kind of like gaining more of my confidence and like finding myself a little bit more. And it kind of gave me an opportunity to really connect with myself. That's why I really appreciate like being in America. You know what I mean? It kind of like really taught me like, okay, what do I like? What do I want to do in my life? Like, who am I? You know what I mean? I still have this kind of like side of me, like more like people pleasing sometimes. And I kind of like, you know what I mean? Like do something so that I don't offend nobody or like I don't come off wrong or stuff like that. I just can't get that out of me. Even though like I'm not too unhappy with it, I feel like it's good to be considerate, you know, toward other people and be able to get close with anyone, you know what I mean? Because I'm really good with like, you know, getting close with people and communication and all of that. So I still like that part of me, but like right now I could be more fully myself and be able to like say what I want to say or like do what I want to do. And I'm not really too scared to do something that's different from other people. And that's probably why I'm doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
That's why you got the GoldnRush podcast.
Exactly.
And your story is very similar to a lot of other Japanese people who, of course, mixed people as well, but go to the States.
Right.
Or some other country that there's more diversity, and it's just like, oh shoot, like for once in my life I'm not the only one that's different. Yeah. So now I can kind of just not worry about it so much. Yeah. But because Japan, you're right. It is a place where you're constantly thinking about standing out and like, oh, I don't want to stand out. I don't want to like cause a you don't want meiwaku kaketakunai, right? Yeah. You don't want to like do anything outside of the norm. Right. And that's, I mean, in some senses, that's Japanese, like right? Japanese harmony. Harmony. Everything is like harmony. Everything is harmony. Everyone's the same. Everyone dresses the same. Everyone eats the same food, talks the same way. But, you know, for you, it sounded like it was kind of liberating. Yeah, very, very liberating, for sure. I mean, Japan is so different from the rest of the world. I don't know. It's so different. Yeah, like, I mean, it's such a unique country. It's a very unique country. I like. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love Japan. I think it's such a beautiful culture and beautiful. Like, it's so great. You know, it's organized. It's clean, safe. All of that stuff that people say. Like 100%. You know what I mean? I love it. But it is also true that I feel like now more than ever, Japan probably need a little bit more changes, which is scary, but I think we definitely do need some changes in this country. What kind of changes are you talking about? Like, it just like be a little bit more open about certain things, not losing everything, but be open, because at this, it just, the world is changing. Like back then, we didn't have like smartphone. We couldn't know what's happening outside the, you know, country, whatever. And Japan traditionally didn't have too many immigrants, right? And I'm not saying like, oh, having like tons of immigrants is like the best idea ever. I'm not saying that. I don't want to be political either. But I'm just saying I feel like now, like the economy is declining, as everyone knows. And then yen is so cheap. And then the growth, you know what I mean? Economic growth is almost nothing. Right? Like there's none. It's just probably declining. You know what I mean? I don't know too much about it, if I be honest, but it's definitely declining. Back then, like some Japanese country was like a top corporation in the world. It's not anymore. Young people wait like less and less young people. Depression rate is crazy. All the different things, you know what I mean? So
I think we need a little bit of new breed, man. You know what I mean? And I feel like I want to be that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
honestly, I think you are. And dude, for everyone who's listening to this, definitely check out Isaac's podcast, GoldnRush, because he does have English translations for a lot of the shorts.
Yeah.
But you are having a big effect. I definitely know this because I've seen, and not just you, there's other people as well. Maybe there's definitely a crowd of the non-Japanese people. So Nihon Sodachi no Gaikokujin crowd, like the non-Japanese people who were born and raised in Japan, who are reaching a younger Japanese generation. And I know this just because I've talked to like maybe some people in like 23, 24, 22. And they love watching these videos on YouTube where it's spoken in Japanese, but it's about, you know, being mixed, or it's like what it's like being not Japanese but from Japan.
Right.
I'm thinking like, you know, you are one of the people who are part of the change. It's awesome.
That means a lot, man.
That's
I think
awesome.
that's why I'm doing it, and that makes me happy.
Yeah.
And it's just bigger purpose, bigger than myself type of stuff.
I wanted to go back, I guess, a little bit. Where do you really feel comfortable now? Do you feel most comfortable in Tokyo? Do you feel most comfortable in Sapporo? Do you feel most comfortable in LA? Just you can be yourself.
Just being myself. That's a really interesting question. I think it's really right now. I think it's not really too much of a place anymore. That's how I feel like. I think it's about a community, you know. And it helps the fact that I'm doing this kind of content, where like some people, actually a lot of people relate to what I do. Like, you know what, I love what you're doing, and like some people relate to what I'm doing. Now, like we could really have this community of like being able to talk about it and then be able to like feel like, oh, you're a part of this specific community. It's not really about Japan, it's not about Tokyo, it's not about LA, it's not about all the different things. It's about the community of like, yeah, I had this kind of experience and this kind of experience, and this is what I went through, you know. And this is what I want to do with the experience that I've had in my lifetime. And that's probably is, you know, I feel most comfortable. And that's a bit like one of the biggest thing I'm really glad that I did that is that I feel like, okay, now I'm a person who could start that kind of community, the bridge between different people or communities. And yeah, maybe I was the one who started it, but like now people add stuff, and then now it becomes the bigger things than whatever that I do on a YouTube or social media or whatever, but like just bigger thing. Yeah, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel more comfortable with myself, being able to talk about my truth, be able to like put it out there, and then really feel like, yeah, I'm accepted by these things. And it's really cool. It's really cool that I've done that with my brother, and then worked together. You know, both of us worked so hard to get to this point. You know, I mean, obviously we just started, but like I want to go from there. But I'm glad I did that because of that specific reason.
It's almost like saying home is where the heart is. You know,
right.
Like, as long as you got the heart, like somebody's there. Oh, dude, forgot. I have the sponsor right here. This is Pudgy Penguins.
Pudgy Penguins.
Pudgy Penguins.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to them. Man, we've talked a lot. I probably could talk more, but I might have to just end it at this and say, you know, hey, people watching this, if you come to Japan, you'll have your spiritual awakening.
Yes,
you'll have your awakening if you come to Japan. All right. Thanks, Isaac.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Okay. See you guys next time.
See ya.
Arigatou.
Arigatou.